Okay, should we start on Twitch? All right, I believe we are live, sir.
Okay, what's up, everyone? It is the Turf Tar Timber Show here, and we are talking all things baseball today. Nick, how are you, my man?
I'm doing fantastic, especially now that we actually figured out how to work this shit. What about you?
Hey, man, I'm doing fantastic as well, knowing that. And hey, LSU is one win away from going to the College World Series Championship Series, man. So I'm doing a-okay right now.
Hell yeah, how
Other
did
than
that
watching,
game end,
yeah,
by the way? I saw it got suspended last night. I wasn't able to see the rest
yeah,
of it, though.
yeah. So not gonna lie. So I'll just give you I'll give you the rundown of how it started and everything. So first in yesterday, UCLA comes on. They score 3 runs right away. Anthony Einson looked a little rattled early on, but I mean he ended up getting he didn't give up any runs the rest of the time till the rain delay, obviously. And one thing I despise about college baseball is if there's a rain delay like that. Um, this like Anthony Einson could not pitch. It's kind of a blessing in disguise for LSU, but Anthony Einson could not, since they won, and they can save him for the Arkansas game, which I'm assuming Arkansas is going to win this game because they're up 5-0 right now. It's supposed to be
So it
the
kept
top
Jay
of the eighth, I
Johnson
think.
from leaving him in for too long. Basically, it stepped in
Hey,
for him.
I gotta say, Jay Johnson may have made me go absolutely crazy in the gym when
Oh
we
yeah.
were watching the regionals. But he's been good at replacing pitchers because this game got a little. I forget who it was. I just know his last name is Williams. I think he's a freshman, but he was some lefty. LSU was like they had a good lead. It was like I forget exactly the score, but I think it was 8-3 or 7-3 or something like that. And they took Case and Evans because Case and Evans was the one who pitched the remainder of the day because Anthony Einstein couldn't start because of the college rules. So yeah, he couldn't. As I said, he couldn't start. Case and Evans came in and he pitched fantastically, I might add. And but yeah, when they took him out, some lefty came in and almost fucking blew it. And at least Jay Johnson realized, yeah, we got to take him out and we got to put the stud that is Chase Shores in. And Chase Shores ended that very quick by getting 4 ground ball outs to second base, I might add, to Daniel Dickinson. In the eighth inning and the top and the ninth as well to close that out for LSU to get the I believe it was a 9-4 or 5. I forget the score off the top of my head, but it was like 9-5 or 8-5 or something like that. But LSU got the win. They it wouldn't be LSU if they didn't make it a little scary towards the end. But yeah,
So, who do y'all play? Not who do y'all. Obviously, y'all play Arkansas next, assuming they hold on to this. I have a sneaking suspicion my audio isn't pulling through. Let me pull this up on my fucking tablet real quick. You're not gonna hear me for a sec. Actually, no, fuck it. I'm gonna do it on my computer. Um,
I
what?
think it is good. At least through Discord, I can see you like every time you're talking.
That's not
I think you
necessarily what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's whatchamacallit through my phone mic. Actually, let me just press a button. Testing one two testing one. Okay, why is this being weird now? Um, I swear, I think it's working. I don't know. Can't super tell though.
Well, I
Uh,
can hear you a-okay. I don't
hell
know if
yeah.
chat can though.
That is the question. Oh fuck me, my camera just fell like a motherfucker. All right, stream manager. Sorry for anyone in chat. We just suck at the technological aspect of this. I
We are not that good at technology.
No, I everything I know about OBS and streaming has been found out in the last 3 days, basically.
For those who speak Spanish, Trace Days.
Trace Diaz,
Trace Diaz, excuse me. Yep.
where are your manners?
You know what? Senior Moore was our Spanish teacher, so uh,
And he's in prison now.
Speak Spanish?
That he is.
It's Drake Diaz.
The man touched children.
Yeah,
Not even
excuse me. Yep.
Where are your manners? Okay, never mind. My audio's coming through. I was just worried. All right, we're good to continue. Sorry about that. Who do you? I guess getting to the question that I was originally asking. Any idea who starts for LSU in the rematch against Arkansas?
I would imagine it would be Einstein, just because I know he only pitched like 42. He only had like 42 pitches thrown. Um, well, yeah, last night or something like that. And I know Jay Johnson, since he's been here, and when Jay Johnson has a reliable starter like Ty Floyd, Paul Skeens, of course, you got Kate Anderson, Anthony Einstein, he will let them throw for over 100 pitches in a game. So he's not afraid to let those boys air it out. So. I genuinely do not know off the top of my head, but if I were to guess right now, I would say, as I really do think it was a blessing in disguise that we can get Anthony Einstein out there for potentially this Arkansas for the final game. Out there, we put him in there, and we wrap this thing up tomorrow or whenever it is. It's either tomorrow or the day after.
All right. Well, hell yeah. I mean, honestly, why save them for anything at this point? Because it is the College World Series. It's as big as it's gonna get. You can hear me, right? By the way.
I can, yep.
Okay, hell yeah. I'm just super paranoid about that. Um, whatchamacallit, yeah, I mean, if there's ever a time to leave them in and not worry about pitch count or anything like that, it's right now. So, especially in the
Yep.
upcoming matchup against, well, probable upcoming matchup against Arkansas, that ending to the Louisville game today though was pretty interesting.
Oh, dude, absolute cinema, man. I mean, you had Louisville going into the top of the ninth inning with a 6-3 lead, and I forget how they ended up getting four. It might have been a solo home run. Excuse me, I was not actually in the room at the moment. I was taking a pee at the moment, so I did not see how they got that fourth run. They ended up changing pitchers. Bases end up getting loaded, and it's going to be counted as an error for the shortstop for Louisville. But the runners just kind of got in his way. He running the bases, and he just kind of like got in his way, and he couldn't see. And so that game ended up being tied heading into the bottom of the ninth at 6-6. And then Louisville just decided, they said, you know what? You want to load the bases? Hold my beer. I'm going to do it as well. They loaded the bases up, and uh, Oregon State had to change pitchers, and they put in a freshman who had only pitched once in the last month, which was in the College World Series against Coastal, and they lost that game. But like a dangerous and very scary situation for a freshman to be going into. Um, do not envy that man in the slightest bit, but he ended up giving up a sac fly to deep center field, and then ended up scoring that winning run for Louisville, and Louisville advances. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I,
oh, go
and
ahead.
I was listening to the radio broadcast of the whole thing. As far as that shortstop goes, the broadcaster, and he seemed very tough on his own Cardinals team there. It was the Louisville ESPN station. He was saying, if at 10 out of 10 times, if I'm in a situation like that and I want the ball hit to anybody on the field, it's that shortstop right there. So he seems like he's a very good fielder, and this is like kind of a one-off as far as that goes, especially with the runner getting in his way. But yeah, another
Yeah,
thing I heard too was that Oregon State really didn't have like an actual closer. Like I think of the 16 saves they'd had, it had been made up of nine different pitchers put
yeah,
together in an effort. So they really didn't have a designated closer. So that can definitely come
yeah.
in to bite you, and we saw it today.
I agree with it, completely. You look at other teams. I mean, I know I've made it very clear that I am an LSU fan, but you look at the LSU teams that have made the College World Series. They have always had some pretty good closers. I remember the 2017 team. They had a very good closer. I forget his name, but they had him there, and they did lose to Florida in two games in the championship series. But I mean, they had a solid closer. 2023, they had a pretty solid closer as well when they won the Natty. And they got Chase Shores, who has looked absolutely lights out so far in the postseason so far as a closer for them. So I do firmly believe that you can't just be using. You can have a lot of good relievers and everything, and I have no problem with that. But you do need to have a bona fide closer for the ninth inning in these situations.
Yeah, it definitely can be kind of an old trope, especially since saves are kind of viewed like wins in the stat category. Like they're not something people typically look at these days.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I think blown saves are even more important of a stat than saves. It really just tells you who's good in the moment, who's not, and if you can find that guy who's going to be consistent when you need him there, especially at the end of games, like that's huge. So I mean, props to yeah, like a Chase Shores. He's such an imposing figure too. 6'8", I think it is. Like that
Yeah,
man.
he's a 6'8" dude, and man can touch 102.
Whew. Yeah, no, that guy. What year is he in? If you happen to know, is he a freshman?
Um, no, he's not a freshman. I believe he's a junior because I remember he was on the national championship team that year in 2023. He just couldn't pitch that year because he had a UCL tear that year. And then he came back last year. Wasn't really that good if I remember. He had a high ERA this past year as well. I think they used him as a starter for certain things, and I think they ended up putting him to the bullpen, and that's where he did better in the bullpen. But yeah, he was coming off a major injury, so yeah, you got to expect pitchers, when they coming off a major injury and stuff like that, they're going to take a little bit. And it's sad to say that for college players as well, but like we both know this is how it goes. A major injury like that, you're going to take a little bit of a step back. But I mean, the man throws absolute heat out there, and I'm pretty sure he's a junior to answer your question.
Oh hell yeah! No, I mean, like I didn't even know much about college baseball before, like last week. But I mean, I'd heard his name before, so definitely someone to watch out for in the draft coming up next month. Apparently, the combine's today. I thought the draft was today.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
combine. So
yeah. I was
that's
yeah,
that was interesting
yep.
to
I was
find out.
actually. Yeah, I actually I was watching a bit of it. Like I'm talking like when I say a bit of it, I literally mean about like maybe a minute and a half of it. I turned it on because the LSU game was on in the morning because the because of the rain delay, and it was like 12 o'clock and the game was still going on, and I just ended up turning to like MLB Network and I saw they had the combine going on. Some dude was taking some BP. They had Buck Showalter over there as well. Shout out to Buck Showalter. Um,
Legendary failure of a manager. Hell yeah.
Legendary failure of a manager indeed. He did have some good Orioles teams. I'll give him that, but they never ended up doing anything.
People don't
Um,
want to talk about that. Matt Wieters carried that man's career. Matt Wieters and J.J. Hardy.
JJ Hardy, I just want to give you a shout out because you were absolutely legendary in 2K. And I think it was 2K10 if I remember correctly. For my Minnesota Twins dynasty that I had for my franchise, excuse me, you were an absolute goat. Okay, so all love and respect for you, JJ Hardy.
Yeah, what the fuck is a Gunnar Henderson? Just give me J.J. Hardy 2.0.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well,
So, sir,
go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I
I
was
was just
just
gonna
gonna say
ask you.
what the first topic was because I could the list wasn't updating for me.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, since we are talking about the college. Is there a team, the College World Series? Is there a team that's like kind of surprised you or anything so far yet in this, or is it kind of looking how you thought it looked like so far?
Yeah, I mean Louisville. They surprised me. They kind of barely eked out against Miami. I'm a huge Miami fan. Go Canes.
Yeah,
Uh, but at the same time, like I kind of thought that was going to be the end of them. And I know you were kind of on the same boat there too, telling me that they were done against Oregon State. And I mean, I believed it too. I did some research on Oregon State. They definitely seemed like the better team coming into it, but yeah, they just did not put it together when they needed to. Louisville came in, surprised me. I mean, of course, there's Coastal Carolina, but yeah, I'd say just overall, Louisville has been surprising. I mean, we'll see if they can take on Coastal next round, but I still think what they've done so far is impressive. What about yourself?
I gotta say, yeah, my biggest surprise would be Louisville as well. I truly thought, I am biased about this. I said it was going to be LSU on that side. LSU gets it, but I knew it was going to be LSU or Arkansas who's going to get it on this side. But I thought it was going to come down to Coastal and Oregon State, and I thought Oregon State was going to get the better of Coastal. But yeah, Oregon State proved. I'm going to be kind of harsh on them here. They kind of got fraud checked, if you ask me. In this, I know they made it extremely far. They got down to the elite. If we put it in college basketball terms, they got down to the elite eight, which is what
The
the
Elite
College
Eight.
World Series is. Yeah, yeah. Which is just what the College World Series is. When you get to Omaha, it's just the eight best teams. The best remaining teams left. But yeah, Louisville. I want to make a national apology to Louisville right now because I underestimated them. I mean, let's be real here. They knocked out Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was the number one seed in this tournament, and the number one seed. You at D1 for D1 top 25, they were the number one seed in the entire country, not just for the tournament. NCAA, their site had the number one. So Vandy was the unanimous number one across many sites. And Louisville won the national tournament at the regionals, and Vandy did not even go to super regionals because of Louisville. So shout out to Louisville for proving all the doubters, including myself, wrong. They have proven that they definitely belong here. So shout out to them. I do think, however, that Coastal is the better team. Coastal has won a national championship. I think not even too long ago. But so yeah. I think Coastal's going to get the better of them. Coastal does not even have a loss as well, so Louisville's going to have to get two off them. And they're in survival for their remainder of their season right now as well. Just like whoever wins this Arkansas UCLA game, they're going to be fighting for this season with one loss because it's double elimination, and Coastal and LSU both have 0 losses. But yeah, shout out to Louisville for proving the doubters and myself wrong.
Yeah, no, very
Also,
impressive. Go ahead.
also, yeah, I just wanted to say, Louisville, they 100% deserve to be here. There, you can't deny that whatsoever about anything. You can question, basically of like, oh, did you think they had the bullpen? Do you think they had the starters to get here? Do you think you can't question their lineup? They've had a very elite lineup of hitters this entire season. And they have proven in the postseason that they 100% belong in this place, and shout out to them for proving that.
No, yeah, very impressive. And like I said, I mean, the Miami running it very close with Miami did kind of make it shaky. I mean, Miami has not been a great
Yeah,
baseball program of the last 20 years. They almost got knocked out by Southern Miss, had to fight for their lives. But yeah, they came back and impressed
yeah, and Miami was literally one run away
with 2 runners
from
on.
beating yeah, from tying it up and possibly even winning that game. So shout out to Miami as well. Also, I want to get your opinion, sir. So Arkansas and Gage Wood, and the man threw an absolute gem with a no hitter with 19 Ks against Murray State. I mean, that was I know a lot of people, the casuals out there, and then you got old heads and stuff like that who be like, oh, we want more runs and stuff like that. And granted, I do want more runs as well. College baseball has more than enough runs. College baseball is something, I mean, you're going to get hits, you're going to get runs. They're using aluminum bats and stuff, metal bats. So runs are not a question here in college baseball, but it is absolutely a beauty for people who love the game to see an absolute gem of a pitching performance, and that is what we got from Gabe Woods right there. I mean, absolutely. I know Murray State. Again, people question that did they truly belong there, and I don't think they truly belong there. I know they ended up getting there, obviously, but they were obviously the Cinderella story out of all of them. But I mean, hey, if you throw 19 Ks against anyone, man, yeah, that's gonna raise your draft stock right there.
Yeah, no, really. I mean, I say what you will, did they deserve to be there or not? But at the same time, I mean, they made it in. So sorry, my dog was going crazy on my door. Um, yeah, they made it
The
in.
Cleo man.
And about the runs thing, I mean, yeah, if you can't truly appreciate like a great pitching performance there, and it wasn't even really a pitcher's duel, because I mean, what was it, 3-0 the final score? I know I lost my plus four, I mean -4.5 bet for Arkansas on that one, so I know it was less than 4 runs, or 4
I
runs
will
or
check
less.
that for. Yeah, it was 3-0 was what it was.
Yeah, 3-0. So kind of somewhat of a pitcher's duel, but if you can't appreciate that, then what are you even doing watching baseball? Like I can't stand the types who are just they need more runs, more runs. It's like, well, then what's the point of having a pitcher? We might as well just stick a fucking pitching machine out there, and just watch people
Basically,
hit
or just
home
put the
runs.
ball exactly, or just put the ball in the tee, you know.
Yeah, no, really. Uh,
But yeah, so
but
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, very impressive performance overall. I mean, 19 strikeouts. Say what you will about the lineup, but that was just unbelievable. Like 19. I mean,
Yeah,
literally 8 people put the ball in play. That is amazing.
truly amazing. Now, I'm gonna ruffle a lot of feathers here in the Arkansas community, and that's not going to bother me whatsoever. I know you despise Arkansas. I'm an LSU
Oh,
fan, so since birth it has been, fuck Arkansas. I will never not say that. Okay, um, but call me crazy here, but I call Ty Floyd 17 Ks. I forget. I think he gave up 2 or 3 runs to Florida, but that was in the national championship series. He did that against a way better team, which has major leaguers on it. By the way, White Langford was on that team. Jack Callaghan was on that team. Other people were on that team as well who got drafted. But I mean, that's just 2 notable guys right there who are already up in the big leagues. And Wyatt Langford has proven that he 100% belongs in the big leagues. As we are Rangers fans, we
hell
know that
yeah,
100%.
Big Lang,
Love him,
yeah.
man. Exactly. And we got that man's bobblehead, the Psycho bobblehead. Actually looking at that bobblehead right now.
I'm doing the exact
Um,
same thing. He's staring me down.
Good shit, sir. But yeah, call me crazy. That's just the LSU fan in me, though. I'm not gonna lie because I'm not. I can't even lie. That was truly one of the most, and I that was truly one of the most amazing pitching performances I have ever seen in my life. I watched that game from start to end, and I was absolutely amazed in that game. That man threw 17 strikeouts in a very close game against people who were in the major leagues at this point. So just putting that out there. Arkansas,
Now,
just a reminder of who your big brother is.
now was that a no hitter though?
It was not a no hitter. It was not a no hitter,
Oh,
but
see, that's where I think it comes in because the no hitting, now I'll say 17 strikeouts versus 19 strikeouts compared when one team maybe it was 2 less strikeouts, but there were actual bona fide major leaguers on that team. Um, I'll say that part's more impressive, but the no hitter part makes Gage Woods more impressive. I mean, there's only a handful of guys who are actually ever able to do that. It was the first no hitter in College World Series in like 65 years or something
oh
crazy
yeah,
like that.
yep.
I do think that puts that over the top. As amazing as Ty Floyd's performance was, it wasn't a no hitter, and I think no hitters are just in their own category. If it had been a no hitter, though, I would still say Ty Floyd's is more impressive, but I just can't put a non no hitter over a no hitter unless it was like legitimately like playing a JUCO team.
Understandable, yeah, but I'm gonna be biased in this. I'm 100% biased. So at
He
least you know
admits it
where I'm
at least.
coming from this.
He admits
Yeah,
it.
yeah. At least you're like, hey, I will never give. If I have a chance to shit on Arkansas and let them know who their big brother is, I'm going to do it. I'm going to ruffle some feathers in the Arkansas community. How else are we gonna get clicks, right? So
Yeah, no, I mean I trust me, I fucking hate the Razorbacks. I have no reason to. They don't play Miami. They don't play anyone I like, but I fucking hate their logo. I hate their stupid woo pig thing. I just I just can't. My hate for them is organic. Yours yours is a result of fandom. Mine is just an organic hatred for the university, its logo, its colors, anything about it. I cannot stand them.
see, that's how I feel about A&M. I had hated A&M before they got into the SEC, and LSU had been having these recruiting battles with them, and splitting the series with them and stuff like that, and becoming big rivals. That's how I truly have felt about A&M since the dawn of birth, was just a deep hatred for that maroon. I just hate teams with red, if I'm being honest. Hate Bama, hate Arkansas, hate A&M. Just disgusting teams.
I yeah, I still remember being a kid and seeing because I definitely favored Texas as a kid in some regards. My mom did go there, but fucking I would see like people wearing like the A&M logo on their hoodie, and I was like fucking 7, and I just saw ATM, and I'm like, who the fuck is ATM? Isn't that the machine you get money out of? So
That's what I was thinking as well. And then once like South Park started hitting, I mean ATM, you're just thinking ass to mouth, like I mean pretty dumbass logo right there.
okay, but to be fair, and take into mind, people, I did live in College Station for a year, so like I
The
li-
man was a part of the cold people.
I could see from my balcony where I would consistently smoke weed every day. I could see the back of the Kyle Field scoreboard. So, I mean, I'm not just out here hating for no reason. I was there. I experienced it. Wonderful little city, but at the same time, definitely a cult. Weird logo. Now, if under the logo, if they just started writing ass to mouth, now I would be an instant fan, day one. I don't care about
Oh
Miami's recent
yeah.
matchups
Oh
with them.
yeah.
I would buy all of their merch instantly. I would tattoo Johnny Manziel's face on my face, over my face. Uh, but yeah, no, the just hating on random teams can be very fun.
Oh, it really can, man. Hayden watching is something that just. By the way, to Tennessee fans out there, just letting you know, I
Uh-oh.
absolutely hate watched you guys the entire time. There was not a college baseball team or even a other than A&M and Arkansas. I truly don't think there's a university that I hate more than Tennessee. I absolutely despise all of you and your
Go
fans.
Vols!
That's something that will never be said again in here. I can promise you that. It will never come out of my mouth unless I somehow lose a bet, and that's like the thing that the consequence, I guess. But yeah.
Okay,
Um, also, okay, go ahead, sir.
I got a question for you. It's not related to our topics of the day, but I mean we've kind of segued into this a little bit, which is nice as it is. Um, Outside of the SEC, knowing that you're an SEC fan and I'm an ACC fan, but outside of the SEC, what team do you hate the most
There's
and why?
there's there's two that come to mind off the top of my head. Penn State and Notre Dame. Now I know a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, the BK thing." I've hated Notre Dame before that, just because I've always thought, like I've hated. You're an independent. You play nobody. You have a fucking rivalry with Navy, and any team that has a rivalry with Navy is not a serious team. And in a time where like conference like teams like UCLA. I'm literally watching I have the UCLA Arkansas game up where teams like UCLA, Washington, Oregon are like and Washington are like moving conferences, like to go to better conferences in their mind, like have a better shot of making the playoffs in football and stuff like that and trying to get natties. And then you have fucking Notre Dame over here who's like, nope, we're stuck in 1960, guys. We're gonna have rivalries with fucking Navy, and Stanford, who was like good for like 3 years, when they had Andrew Luck and CMC. But like other than that, they've done shit. But like whatever, Notre Dame, do you be an independent and play like three real schools a year, and like USC being one of them. And
Don't forget
USC's been
Miami.
good like
We play them this year. We start the year off Catholics versus convicts, baby.
Catholics versus convicts is real, and we're always going for the convicts in that scenario. We are
Mhm.
not going for Notre Dame, and then the other one would be Penn State. I've just always despised Penn State as well. Um, now the CFB Dynasty group chat knows me as the biggest Drew Aller hater in the history of mankind. Okay.
This is very
Um,
confirmed.
yeah, there is not a bigger Drew Aller hater out there than me. So he's never been a fan of him. I think Penn State's just been an overrated program. There's also, you had Sandusky, who's a legit
The
PDF
goat.
file out there. Some could say that, yeah.
No,
um,
it all depends on perspective. He was the goat of one thing. Uh, y- Man, I can't believe I just said that on the internet.
I know that was a bad no, dude. Yeah.
Okay, for those who don't know, quick segue. He wrote a book called Touched.
Yep, he
And
did
it is
write a
not
book
about what you
called
think it's
Touch.
about. But this PDF file, fucking. Yeah, I'll let you get back to your Penn State hate. I just had to segue with the
Yeah,
Jerry Sandusky book that you should all pick up.
yeah. The, but yeah, just I've never been a Penn State fan. I've always felt like they've been an overrated program. At least since like you gotta. I was born in 2000. I haven't seen Penn State do anything in my lifetime. Like I mean, I think they've had good teams. They just made the playoffs last year, having the easiest fucking run of all time. If you ask, what Boise State, someone else, and then fucking Notre Dame. Like, I'm sorry, and you fucking lost to them. And Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois. Okay, for the love of God, like, I'm sorry. Um,
Yeah, like that Northern
and
Illinois coach was in tears after the game because like that's how big of a
I think
win it was for them.
I think I was at your house watching that game, dude.
Dude, I think
Like,
yeah, you were. That was a core memory right there. Just watching that NIU coach just have the absolute greatest moment of his life right there. Probably better than the birth of his kids and their kids' kids.
yep,
Yeah.
that man got paid because these big schools they paid those little schools to come in there. They'll pay him like $1 million. The Northern Illinois literally got paid $1 million to go into Notre Dame and beat them. That man definitely got some of that $1 million right there. They handed over a little bit of that bread to him.
Deservedly so. That was a huge win for NIU. Great
And
win.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Sarah, I'll ask that same question to you. Other than some ACC schools, because I know that'd be your number one. Hated a rivalry. Who do you got out there? I know you're a big Florida hater as well.
I am.
Due to the state. Yeah,
I'm gonna exclude teams that have a bona fide rivalry with Miami because I feel like we are still somewhat,
oh
I mean,
yeah,
not new to
yeah.
the ACC by any means, but like comparatively to like most of the stuff that was done in Miami's history was done outside of the ACC. So like Florida and Notre Dame, I'd love to put Notre Dame on that list. Notre Dame, fucking hate them. Those little golden dickheads. But fucking I gotta say number one hatred is just Arkansas. I feel like I just know too many people who go there, and I don't want to see them happy about their sports teams if I can't be happy about mine. And we know damn well mine are not gonna make me happy, so they aren't allowed to be happy either. I think I'm probably gonna go with oh no, Michigan. I fucking can't stand Michigan, dude. And I'll come to their defense when it comes to that dude, Connor, whatever his last name was, who was stealing the signs
The
and stuff.
sign
Like,
stealer. Yep.
yeah, I've seen the documentary, which means I've done my research, peer reviewed, argue with a wall. But I don't think they were at all in the wrong there. I just seriously hate Jim Harbaugh. I know he's not there anymore, but I hate everything about that school. I hate that stupid banner they hold out before the games. Why? I don't know. I think there was just one annoying kid at school who was a Michigan fan back in the day, and
I
that just
know
kind of,
exactly who you're talking about.
yeah, we're
I
not
know
gonna say his name on
exactly.
stream, but you know, name
I,
started with a W. But yeah, fucking
we know his sister as well. Yeah.
yes, yes we do. I fucking I think it's just people I associate with certain teams, whether it's the group of people I associate with Arkansas or the person I associate with Michigan. All love to you, by the way, if you see this, but I just fucking hate your teams now. Um, but yeah, no, and like I said, I'll come to their defense. I'm not totally biased against them, but they just piss me the fuck off. And I think their helmets are stupid too. What's that little mustache on top of your helmet? What the fuck is that doing there? Uh, yeah, that's the same. I think to a lesser extent, OU. I feel like I've just always rooted for Texas and the Red River rival. So yeah, those I'll just go with those three randomly.
I'm a big Michigan hater now, because the whole Bryce Underwood thing and Dave
Yeah.
Portnoy,
No, dude,
freaking
I
Lou.
forgot. I forgot. There's one we're missing.
Tech.
Colorado.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
See, I see. The thing is, I don't even hate Colorado. It's just we're Dion haters because like the second Dion
D1
leaves,
Dion haters.
nobody's. Oh yeah, because like it's the thing is like the second Dion leaves Colorado, we're nobody's gonna care about, nobody's gonna like Colorado, and nobody's gonna hate them like they do right now. Because like, let's be real, if you were a fan of college sports and you're a fan of college football, you only have two emotions: you either like Colorado because of Dion, or you fucking hate them because you think he's an annoying douchebag. And if you think he's an annoying douchebag, then you're in the right, and if you like him, then you're an annoying douchebag as well. So
Yeah, it's
just
very simple. It's a very simple equation, and I'll have to say the thing that pisses me off most, and it's kind of more of a recent development. Not that he didn't piss me off before, um, but it's the whole Cordell Stewart jersey retirement drama. Like Cordell Stewart played 11 years for the Steelers. He is the greatest player in Colorado Buffalo's program history. Led them to a national championship. uh he wanted his jersey retired. Very understandable. I mean, being the greatest player in program history. Nice flex. You should
had
you
to do the Shador for them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But you should have your jersey retired if you're Cordell Stewart. They told him no, no, and there's a 5-year rule. You can't have it done for 5 years. Still doesn't get it done. And then what does Dion do immediately upon his like bitch ass son leaving the program? He fucking
Yep,
retires his number. Cordell Stewart's number still isn't retired. Justice for Cordell. Uh, yeah, that's all
damn
I'm gonna
straight.
say. It's pure favoritism. Dion is just a nepotistic piece of shit.
Yep. We are A1 Dion haters over here. Um, and I'm not even trying to make fun of like the man's like. I shouldn't even. I'm not gonna. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not holding back anything. I'm just letting. We're out in the open. We're on national.
Preach.
Everyone's gonna see this. So I'm not holding back anything. The way he raised his kids as well, and I mean, I'm fucking 24. I'm not a father of anyone. Would I have the first clue of how to raise a child if I were to have a child right now? Hell no, I would not. Okay, would I make mistakes? Absolutely. I am not perfect in any means. Okay, hell, you could even argue I've been a piece of shit the majority of my life. Sometimes, that you could make a compelling argument of that. Okay, I'm not going to deny that. Okay, um but the reality of it is, the man raised his kids to be A1 assholes. We have proof of, like, that one kid who was hitting the portal and then said it was like, like Dion was was basically a bad coach, like Dion didn't like really teach them, or anything like that. And then we had Shador out there being like, "Oh, you're mid, bro. I don't even know you," and shit like that. Like, fuck out of here, you fucking asshole. Like that. You don't do that.
You got to take the
And
higher
then
road
we
with that, especially if you're the leader of the team. Just don't say anything at all, or just that, bro. Just give him like an equally infuriating but polite response, and they'll just be like, "Oh, sorry, you didn't enjoy yourself," or some shit like that. But there's also the Shiloh incident.
I
If
was just about to say that as
bring it
well.
up.
Yep. But yeah, I was gonna say the Shiloh comparing himself when he was getting cooked at like it wasn't the combine, or when it was some it was the Polynesian Bowl, or so, or no, the Senior Bowl. Excuse me, it
The
was the Senior Bowl
Polynesian
practice.
Bowl.
Bro, there is a Polynesian Bowl. It's just for
What the
recruits,
fuck?
for high school recruits. Dude, I saw that. There's a Polynesian Bowl. Yeah, but
Notable Polynesian Shiloh
yeah,
standard.
yeah. but yeah, it was the Senior Bowl. Man was getting absolutely cooked and was doing pretty shitty in drills, and that those clips got leaked and made their way around the internet, and of course they were gonna make some noise, in the not good department, and likewise they did make some noise in the not good department. So
The not
the
good
man
department.
compares himself. Yep. And the man compared himself to Donald Trump. He was like, people hate on me or something like that, and they hate on our president and stuff like that. Dude, I'm not gonna bring up politics in this, like this is a sports show and stuff like that. But like, my brother, you do not need to be doing that in the slightest. Donald Trump is a terrible human being. That's about as much as I'll get into it. And you're a terrible human being as well, Shiloh. But I mean, that's about as much as you two have in common, being terrible human beings. But don't try to
Well,
compare the hate that.
well,
Oh, go ahead,
there
sir.
there is one more quite specific thing that puts them in common, and that's that money's able to get them out of legal issues. And let's not forget, Shiloh beat the absolute shit out of some like security guard or something. I'm kind of vague on the story,
Yep.
but I know it was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a very like known thing that he did. And I mean, let's be honest, if his dad wasn't Moneybags fucking McGee, he would be probably have an assault charge on his record right now and be a violent felon technically. Uh,
Yep.
so I mean, he's clearly a piece of shit when it comes to that too. Does not hesitate to resort to violence. Like I'm a felon,
Oh,
guys, but I'm not a
exactly.
violent felon. There's a difference. Get it? Come on.
And you, sir, you were not rich or anything like that either. He has you have much more to lose than he does, because of your stature in life, and not being born to someone who has millions on millions, and being, Deion Sanders' son, to get you out of trouble when anything happens, so,
And
but,
and,
oh, go
and
ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of that too, one of the biggest things that pissed me off was them buying their dad a house. Like, dog,
Yep.
your dad has the means to buy himself whatever fucking house he wants. How about you like donate that money to like his name in charity? At the very least, it would help his taxes at the end of the year if that's as
Yep.
greedy as you are. But like, do something good in his name. Don't just fucking look. It's more square footage that our dad can live at for 1 month out of the year.
Right.
Fucking, I'm sure he's got other houses. We are A1, B1, C1, D1 Dion haters, but I mean, like, we've got our reasons.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, Anyway, so we'll get back to the topics of stuff. Now we had that nice little break of Dion hatred right there.
Oh, it was
Um,
good too.
one last Yeah, it was one. Actually, two last things, College World Series wise, before we switch over to the MLB. Arizona as well. Their season ended. They got swept in the College World Series. They went 0-2. One of those losses was to, let me pull it up. I know one of them was to Oregon, to Coastal. Yep, and the other one was to Louisville. Was not good for them while they were here in the College World Series, but hey man, at least they made it there. It was their first time making it since Jay Johnson left and came to LSU, baby. I'm sorry, Arizona, that we had to poach your coach. But you had a really good run, and it's been 3 years now that Jay Johnson he's been away from Arizona. So to lose a coach of Jay Johnson's stature, and then 3 years later you're back in the College World Series. Shows that you are a program on the rise, if we're being honest. Like, kudos to Arizona.
Big time, big time. I mean, yeah, to be able to rebound like that. I mean, some schools, like especially because being more of a college football fan that I am, but now, of course, getting into college baseball, I can't wait to watch the whole season next year. Uh, I mean, it takes a long time for coaches who get poached from a program to start doing well again. Usually, I mean, every time one of Temple's coaches gets poached, like they need another guy to come in, and then he gets poached. Uh, yeah, it can be a real program debilitator completely. But no, that is very impressive. So good for Arizona.
Yep. And so, last topic I want to talk about. And I know, as you said, you're new to college baseball, so I'm gonna 100% pronounce this man's name wrong, and I know he's going to absolutely despise me for it because he literally said, um, he hates when people mispronounce his name. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name. He's the UCLA shortstop, everyone. The projected number one overall pick for very good reasons, I might add. For the 2026 next year's draft. His name is Roch. He's a shortstop for UCLA. So we did want to get a podcast in, before this started. We were having some technical difficulties because, as we said at the start of the show, we are not the brightest when it comes to technology, But it'd be like that sometimes. We're new at this, We'll get better at it. But he is probably. I know they haven't had their vote yet. I'm pretty sure they haven't, but he's probably gonna be the player of the year for college baseball. Man was just absolutely elite. I watched him play against LSU in both days. Man is an absolute stud on the defensive end. Can't take anything away from him. But the man severely struggled this entire postseason. It wasn't even just the Omaha run or anything like that. I'm talking regionals, super regionals. The man just struggled batting. Um, and he batted like 375 or something like that. I don't have his exact numbers and stats off the top of my head, but the man was batting over 350. I can tell you that, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm just like absolutely amazing player, you know. But when the lights shine the brightest in the postseason, the man went on a cold streak. At least it didn't let him affect his defensive ability, because absolute stud defensively. One of the best shortstops I've seen on the defensive end. Reminded me, at least defensively wise, of college Dansby Swanson. And Dansby Swanson, if you were watching college baseball when Dansby Swanson was playing, you knew that man was an absolute star at shortstop. Look, if you just turned on a Vandy game and then you were watching back then in like 2015, 16 or something like that, you know, um, and you had the privilege to watch a ball hit to shortstop and watch a Dansby Swanson turn a double play or just make a hard play look just easy. That's exactly what Roch does, you know, at shortstop, in my opinion. So I hate to see that someone like his caliber was having a very rough postseason. And as I said, I'm watching the game right now. And by the way, UCLA made a kind of a run in this ninth inning. They were down 7-0 to start the ninth. It's now 7-3, but they're down to their final strike right now. But it's kind of sad to see that he did not live up to the hype in the postseason, and they just walked the guy. So they got 3 more strikes.
So I guess my
But
question is, when it comes to something like that, do you think it's just a poorly timed cold streak, or do you think it's something that, obviously this is thinking well ahead, but I mean it is something to think about if he really is could be considered for the number one overall pick a year from now? Uh, do you think it's kind of indicative that he might have the same like Clayton Kershaw, Aaron Judge type postseason struggles, where it's like man could be an absolute star in the regular season, but whatchamacallit, I'm getting some feedback on your end.
yeah, hold up, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can also hear me.
Okay, let me. Sorry, because my AirPods I don't know what's up with my AirPods. I literally charged them, but they just died on me for some reason. So I'm going to charge them.
Pulling out the wired earbuds. Is that it? Oh.
You know what? I might have to do that. But can you hear me now? Or can you hear yourself now, sir?
Penis. Like barely. But I can live with that.
Bet. Sorry, where were we? Sorry about that, chat.
I think you're watching. I was just kind of posing the question. Do you think it's like a poorly timed cold streak, or do you think it's indicative of not being able to step up in the not necessarily the moment, not be clutch, but not step up in the postseason, really, in October, as they would say?
I think that's pretty tough, to be honest, to judge right now. This is UCLA's first trip back to Omaha since 2013, since they did win the Natty that year. But I don't think it was just he choked in the brightest lights. I think it was just I think you're right. I think when you said a poorly timed cold streak, I think that's what it was. And it's not like the man was striking out really or anything. The man was putting the ball in play. It was just they were out, so they were on the ground. You know, it's just that's baseball. Sometimes, you know, we both know, we both played the game before. We know, and our favorite players as well. There's going to be bad streaks. There's going to be cold streaks. You know, you just hate to see it when it's the brightest of the lights like that. But UCLA should be back, and UCLA just lost, so they're eliminated, guys. But they'll be back. I'd love to see what he does next season. I definitely do not expect him to be have a cold streak like that in the postseason again, though. But if he does, then That's definitely going to affect his draft stock. I can tell you that for a fact. Because
Yeah, I mean,
we both know that there are many of prep shortstops out there in high school that these teams love to take.
yeah, I mean, in some ways, the high school prospects can be preferable. I mean, I think they're easier to mold. Not that college shortstops are like uncoachable by any means, but you get you get them younger. You're able to probably call them up a little younger too. I guess it all depends on where those high school shortstops get drafted, whether they sign or not. But it's a
Exactly.
risk
Yeah.
too picking them because you don't know if they'll sign. Even if they are in the first round, if they just don't like the team they're going to or the organization, they might not sign. So there is that risk factor there, but I think in a lot of ways it can be preferable, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, people. So that's our takes on college baseball right now. So we're gonna get into some MLB news right now. So my man Nick, in case chat does not know, we are Rangers fans, and our secondary. I think the Rangers might be your number one team, right?
They
Or the
are.
Giants
They
your
are.
number one team.
The Rangers are my number one team. I think we kind of have the same thing going, and I think a lot of people probably have this too, where they have their favorite team and then they have their second. They'll have a secondary team, uh,
Yeah.
in in the other league. So like for my instance, mine is the Giants. I absolutely love them, die hard. I mean, not to the Rangers extent currently, but and yours is the Cubs. I know.
Yep.
So I think I know where this topic's going. And is that going to be the Rafael Devers trade?
It is. That's exactly what this is
Yeah.
going to be, sir. Is the Rafael Devers trade? So yeah, Rafael Devers has been traded to the San Francisco Giants. The Red Sox seemingly have not learned their lesson from the Mookie Betts trade, and it does hurt because I'm not gonna lie, for me a little bit because I'm a Celtics fan. And I do love the city of Boston. Like I truly love the city
It's
of
a
Boston,
shithole.
having been there a couple of times. Um, and it's
It's
just,
Afghanistan.
you know what? And Afghanistan's a cool place, okay?
It's less cool
Um,
than Afghanistan because at least Afghanistan has the Taliban.
okay, you know what? There was the Boston Bombers, okay? They were Dagestanis, okay? So that's
You know what?
something.
That's true. They do have two fucking bombers that are, of course, cage humpers. Yeah, because that's as good as it gets in Boston. They get some fucking cage humpers to bomb
You
their
know what?
city.
You don't gotta hurt my third team. Like I truly I'm like I'm no Red Sox fan really. It's Rangers first, Rangers always, Cubs second for me. But I got a little bit of I got a soft spot for the Red Sox guys. I'm not gonna lie to you on that. So it does hurt a little bit just being a fan of a Boston team. I follow Celtics accounts on Instagram as well, and you see that stuff, and it just hurts knowing that the fan base is stinging, a little bit. I mean, I mean it's, but yeah, the Red Sox seemingly said they didn't learn their lessons from the Mookie Betts trade. And they got absolutely fleeced by the Giants. And also, I want to get your thoughts on this, sir. After the fleecing, they had a press conference, and I think it was today. And Devers said, funny enough, that he was willing to play wherever they wanted him to play. So, and we know this man was very outspoken about not wanting to play first base for the Red Sox. So,
Yeah, I guess he just
what are
gets
your thoughts
to
on this, sir?
he just gets to a real organization and knows that I mean he knows he's not going to defensively compete with Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman's one of the best third baseman defenders of our generation besides Josh Donaldson and Nolan Arenado, but the man's like what 9-time Gold Glover or something like that. He's
Yeah,
absolutely a superstar at that position, even more so than Alex Bregman defensively. Uh,
I will say you're forgetting one more, sir.
wait, give me a hint. Give me a hint.
Mets player. He's retired.
David Wright.
Yep.
See, I was just thinking of defensive, but I think you are right. He was a superstar defender there. I mean Arenado and Donaldson are slightly more recent, especially
Yeah.
Arenado, but I mean, they're all just superstars. Such a
Bro.
privilege to have watched.
You know
Uh,
what? I think it's time for me to kill myself right now because we forgot, and I'm actually looking at his bobblehead right now as well. Adrian Beltre.
oh, see though, that's the thing. I don't know if I can defensively put him up there with Nolan Arenado.
Oh, he's not. I wouldn't say he's up there. I mean, Nolan Arenado is on his own planet
I
defensively,
think
but
he was
Adrian
also on his
Beltre
own
was a
planet.
great third baseman.
Oh yeah, Beltre was. I'm talking purely defensive metrics though. Like Rafael Devers is not a great fielder. He was never going to be able to compete with him. And I think with the Giants having sent down DFA'd Lamont Wade, like a couple weeks ago now at this point, he's going to be a perfect fit at first base if we're able to stick him there. If we don't want to keep Wilmer Flores there, he can obviously DH. There's options, and I'd like to say though, I don't think the Red Sox totally got fleeced. I think they're stupid about how they're handling it because it's a stupid organization in a stupid city. But
Fuck
fucking
you.
yeah, lay it on. But fucking they got Kyle Harrison, they got James Tibbs, and they got Jordan Hicks. They immediately sent down Kyle Harrison, which I don't get why they did because they also sent down another reliever of theirs. His name starts with an M, but I think they fleeced themselves by doing that. Like you're not going to be able to develop him anymore in the minor leagues. The dude has spent multiple seasons in the minor leagues already. I believe he was a high overall pick. He was the Giants' top prospect for a while. We heard for a long time as Giants fans that this is going to be the guy to be the 1B to Logan Webb's 1A. He just really didn't pan out. Hayden Birdsong ended up coming up last year, making his debut against the Cubs. We watched that game. He's been great. But Kyle Harrison just kind of fell by the wayside. I did not expect him to get traded this early, but at the same time, I get it. Like, if you have a chance to land a Rafael Devers at age 28, locked up already for a long time on what's probably going to be the contract that takes up the grand majority of his productivity as a player, like you gotta take that. You just gotta. I mean, the man's he's hitting 271 this year with 15 home runs, 58 RBIs, and we're halfway through the month of June. Like we're not even halfway through the year. This dude is definitely getting over 100 RBIs. The Giants are a much better team than the Red Sox. We've definitely had trouble this year leaving runners on base. I think there was one game where the Giants left like 15 runners on base, 17 runners on base, something like that.
Ay,
And
ay, ay.
it's great too that he's a bad ball hitter. Like you will just there's like a clip every year that comes out of Rafael Devers swinging at these insanely horrible pitches and somehow putting them over the wall. And I think that wind in the bay put blow move.
Yeah, I agree as well. For the Giants, it was a no-brainer, man. Because I even had as a segment that we were going to talk about over here as the Giants as potential frauds, or the Giants real or frauds right now, and I wanted to get your opinion about on that. Because I was truly, I didn't know what to think about the Giants before this trade. I was like, are they real contenders? I mean, because I mean they're like they might be leading the NL West right now, if I'm actually correct. I mean, I know they beat the Dodgers that other day, and they were like either a game behind or tied for like first place in the division or something
So
like that.
the
So,
Dodgers won today. The Giants are playing right now, I think, and then the Dodgers won yesterday too. So I think they're a game up on us right now.
okay.
And before we move on to that, because I definitely do want to discuss that, and when we discuss teams that are frauds and who aren't. Uh, as far as the Rafael Devers trade goes, and I mean, I'm always wary about giving away prospects, but if you think about it, it's like what's the best? Like all these prospects the Red Sox have called up: Marcelo Mayer, Roman Anthony, Kristen Campbell, Cedane Rafala. It's like, what do you want these guys to be? You want them to be Rafael Devers. You want them to be as good as Rafael Devers. So if you've already got that, why are you giving that up? It's like that old Family Guy clip of like you could have the boat or you could have what's in the mystery box. It could even
Yep,
be a boat. So like, why not fucking take the boat? And the boat is
exactly.
Rafael fucking Devers. So you take Rafael Devers when you can get Rafael Devers. Sorry, I just wanted to make that point that it's like, yes, it hurts to give away prospects, it hurts to give away potential future, but it's like you're already getting what you want them to turn into. You're just speeding up the timeline a little bit, and I think the Giants are surprisingly in a place to win this year, and to compete in this division. And yeah, they got to take advantage of that. It's going to take some work to make sure they stay through the whole season. We can kind of transition into that fraud topic now. But I will admit, to start the year, I was very wary of the success. I thought, okay, we're good right now, but we don't have the depth to keep up. Uh, I mean, it's such a good division. The Diamondbacks can kick it on at any moment. They've got Corbin Burns. Well, I think Corbin Burns might actually be out for a while now. But they
There was
got the
something. Yeah,
yeah.
because there was something about Corbin Burns, and I should be more up to date on this if we're being honest. But I saw something about like they're talking about like his contract situation not being good or something like that as well, and like him being injured or something like that. So,
Yeah, I was thinking
but
about
yeah.
the injury on June 6th. Yeah, dude. He's got season-ending elbow. He's having Tommy John surgery
Whoop!
as of
There
June
goes the
6th.
Diamondback season, guys.
Yeah, so I mean the Diamondbacks, that's one down. The Colorado Rockies were down before the season even started, so we don't have to worry about them. I honestly just feel bad for them at this point because I remember as a teenager I had a friend who was a Rockies fan, so it was like always back and forth because they had Cargo, Tulo, a couple other guys, and
Todd Helton, man, was on
yeah,
that team.
Michael
Oh,
Kadire. They were a
Ubaldo,
legitimate threat.
prime Ubaldo Jimenez, guys. That man, that prime Ubaldo Jimenez might be the greatest pitcher on planet Earth. That man was pitching gyms in Coors Field. Okay, that man was pitching fucking gyms at Coors Field. You know how crazy that is.
And don't forget the legend of LaTroy Hawkins.
Latroy Hawkins. How could I forget about him, man?
Yeah, I mean, in their prime in the 20 teens, the Rockies were fun to watch as much as I hated them. But now I just feel bad for them. But yeah, they're down. Diamondbacks are probably done for the year. The Padres are going to be a real tough team to try to keep off of our heels the whole time. And the Dodgers, of course, are the fucking Dodgers. It's one of the greatest teams ever assembled. I get it.
The
They're not
$1 billion payroll. Yup.
yeah, I get it. They're not like totally playing up to their potential right now. Like they could be playing a little better, but at the same time, they just got Otani back pitching yesterday, as of the recording of this.
Yeah,
They
we were gonna talk about that as well.
yeah, they're such a terrifying team. I have no hope that the Giants will actually be able to beat them in the division. I think we'll end like 3 or 4 games back of them, maybe five. But at the same time, if we can just get that wild card spot, I mean, that's all you need in today's MLB. Like the Rangers World Series, that was a wild card. The Yankees last World Series, that was a wild card. And I'm sure there's been multiple in between of teams that have gone to the World Series based off of that, and especially considering the Dodgers are playoff chokers. So it's like if we can just get there, I have no concern that we'll be able to bury the Dodgers in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, dude. Um, so now I wanted to get to before we get into the frauds thing. Being Rangers fans, oh boy, it's been a tough season for us, hasn't it, man?
Hair gray, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the pitching, dude, has been absolutely elite. I was looking at this the other day, man. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know if you knew this or not. And don't know if our other friend Danny knows this as well. I wanted to save this from both of you, but since we're doing the show, Danny is saved. You're not.
Oh no.
The Rangers are top three, dude, in ERA in like just pitching ERA, WHIP. I think it was strikeouts was the other one or something like that. But it was something good, right? Like they were top three in three really good categories, okay, for pitching. The offense was bottom three in like average slugging, on base, and home runs and all that other shit, man. It's just like, bro, we are sitting here today in the year of our Lord 2025, okay? We won the championship in 2023 with that bullpen that was just atrocious.
Dear
We
God.
could yeah, we could score 8 runs like that. It wouldn't even matter. Okay, but the bullpen is all we had to worry about. And then for some odd reason, Josh Sorbs comes out, and I'm not complaining about this, okay, in the slides. Josh Sorbs comes out in the postseason right there and just balls the fuck out, okay? Shout out to you, Josh, by the way. Thank you for that, for helping us get a World Series. We do not get that World Series without you, okay?
Forever in debt to that man. I would buy any drink for him if I ever saw him in any bar.
Exactly. So I just gotta know what are your thoughts on the season so far, man? Do you think as well like Bochy retires or anything like that? Just like this shit's giving him like he's an old man, you know. I mean, we love Bochy, but it's like is he sick of this shit? You know, like what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, and let me preface this with, as I've mentioned for the last entire segment, I am a Giants fan, and this man has brought me more happiness than any person in any coaching position has my entire life, and it's not even close. I think
So true.
if we don't pick the runs up, yeah, he's gone. I even heard we had kind of talked about the stats of like how many what the Rangers record is when we score so many runs. I even saw Chris Young, our GM, mention today that the Rangers, when scoring 4 or more runs, are 27-4. We are clearly one of the best teams in baseball when we can put the bat on the ball, and I just feel so bad for the pitching staff. I mean, they even without Eovaldi, who's our right now. I mean, you can always argue Degrom, but he is our best pitcher. We got all of our young guys. Like some of them may not have the best stats, like Kamar Rocker, but like dude will go out there and throw a bit of a gem. Like the other day, I was at the game on Father's Day. Kamar Rocker went out there, didn't allow a single run. I think he threw 5 innings of shutout ball, which is great. He came out due to a hamstring cramp. Bruce Bochy did say he broke the record for bottles of pickle juice drank in the dugout to try and curb the cramps.
Based.
But yeah, to get back on the topic, I mean, it's just so frustrating when you see all these like close losses where we barely gave up any runs, but we didn't give our pitchers any run support. And I just feel bad for them. I don't want to lose Eovaldi after this year due to it. Um, I mean, we're just wasting a lot of talent on this team. Hopefully, they'll pick up somebody at the deadline. I was even thinking maybe Devers, but now that's clearly not happening. Um,
Yeah.
but I think whenever the market emerges for who will be more clearly sellers and who will be more clearly buyers, we can start to get an idea of who the Rangers want, but or who the Rangers should get, we should say, and what we would be willing to give up for that. But what would you say about the season so far?
The season has been nothing short of a letdown, to be honest. Pitching, as we said, excluding pitching, because the pitching has been absolutely elite. Okay, I am not a Robert Garcia fan. This is well known by the boys. But my God, the bats have just been atrocious. I know we fired the offensive coordinator as well,
Which we didn't know
which
was a thing until he got fired.
I just thought there was hitting coaches, which I didn't realize there was a whole offensive coordinator, but cool. Um,
Yeah.
but uh, just it's been absolutely painful, man, and I just because by the way, I was looking just at the scoreboard, the scores at the end of the game of the UCLA Arkansas game. Rangers lost, by the way, 6-1 to the Royals. So lovely that the bats didn't do anything. Well, I mean, it clearly wasn't a good pitching performance, giving up 6 runs, but just great to know the bats still could only muster up 1 run. Um, I've
You'd at least
just
like
it's
to
been
lose with a little dignity. Yeah, like put two or
yeah,
three on the board at the very minimum.
right. I mean, I'm just sick of it, man, because it's like there's people that we are absolutely we are in debt to. Adolis Garcia's. I love you for what you did to the Astros. I love you for that entire year. By the way, you were absolutely brilliant that year. What you did to the Astros was nothing short of greatness, okay? And to the Astros, man,
Oh
I
yeah.
speak on behalf of every baseball fan in the entire universe, okay? The ones on Mars, the ones in like other solar systems and shit like that,
And
okay?
there are
They
baseball fans there.
Exactly. And they have heard about the trash Stros, okay?
Fuck the
And they
Astros.
hate them. Exactly. So thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for the greatness that you had in that game. By the way, I just want to put this out there as well because of how much we hate the Astros. By the way, Astros fans, the Rangers have won a playoff game in Houston more recently than the Astros have, and we didn't make the playoffs last year. So
Oh
just
yeah.
had to throw that out there, you know.
Fuck the
Um,
Astros.
amen. But the man Adolis just has not been like he was not good last year. Marcus Simeon wasn't even. Marcus Simeon has truly only had one good year as a Ranger of hitting
Well,
over
no,
250.
he's
Um,
doing a lot better of recent. He's been our
he's
offensive
doing a lot
driving
better
force.
as of recently. Yeah, he's now hitting above like 205. You know, so thanks.
It is an improvement, but he has been the driving force of our offense recently to the point where I don't know. I mean, not considering we wouldn't really get anything for him. Dude, he's hitting 225 now. I mean, compared to 170 the last time we went to a game, he's raised his batting average 50 points. So, uh, it's getting better. It's getting better.
It's getting better. But it's just like I mean, we still this isn't what we paid for, you know, when we
No.
paid all that money for Marcus Simeon. Um, he's only had one season of hitting over 250, which was the World Series year, which I guess you can say, because it's like I guess you can say the Marcus Simeon signing was a success because at the end of the day, you did get a World Series out of it, you know, which was the end goal, you know. So I guess technically it was a success. But I just would have loved him to have been to continue that. I would have absolutely loved for Adolis to continue that. But it's been a sign with Rangers like players for me for a while now that I've noticed is like we'll have some players who will just like have some absolutely great years, you know, or not I shouldn't even say great, but just really good years, you know. We'll have Rougned Odor have like some absolutely great years and be an absolute legend for the Rangers, punching Jose Bautista in the face, you know. Um, and then he'll fall off a cliff, you know, like 2 years after signing a big deal.
I think it was even
Adolis,
sooner than that. I think it was like
yeah,
the
yeah,
next year, basically.
yep. And then Adolis, I know he's not on a big deal or anything, but like he's fallen off a cliff since the World Series and that really good year. And it's just Joey Gallo was an insanely huge bust. And I know I'm gonna
Oh
ruffle a
God.
lot of Ranger fans' feathers out there who, for some odd reason, still believe in Joey Gallo to this very day, even though he is working on being a pitcher for the
And they
love of
want to sign
God.
him as that too. They think he'll be the next Shohei Ohtani.
oh, but like, I mean, I vividly remember watching Joey Gallo's debut game at home. I remember being at home watching the game because I used to watch all the Rangers games. Man, it was him against the White Sox. He had a double in that game, and I know he had a home run, but he might have hit two home runs in that game if I remember correctly. Um, and it was off Jeff Sanmarja, and both of them were up. And this is back when they were playing at Globe Life Field, back in the outdoor stadium. And Nick, you remember the upper deck in right field, right?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, yeah. So he hit. I know one of them went up there. I'm not sure if he hit two that day, but I'm pretty sure he hit two home runs up in the upper deck and a double. And I was like, oh my god, dude, Joey Gallo. Because I remember it was when Beltre got injured, and that's why he came in. You know, because he came up as a third baseman. And I was like, oh my god, dude, when Beltre finally retires, we are locked down for like the next 10 to 15 years with a great third baseman. You know. Well, you know, that didn't even last for one fucking year, okay? Joey Gallo was a bust of all time, okay?
Shout out to
But
Kevin Kuzminoff though for coming in for a year and like just being a stud for us out of nowhere. I remember the Kevin
right.
Kuzminoff year.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just disappointed in what's happened to the offense since that's happened. I might have to take blame in this as well. Actually, you know what? No, I'm blaming the Xbox store. Actually, Nick. Okay,
Okay.
because they took MLB The Show off Game Pass. And remember, I want chat. If in case you're wondering why I'm doing this, me and Nick, we were playing a home. I was at his place, and we were playing a home run derby.
Hmm.
I was using Jonah Heim, and I absolutely raked with Jonah Heim. Okay, and Jonah Heim ended up becoming an all-star catcher. We ended up winning a World Series. Right? I haven't played MLB The Show since they took it down off Game Pass. So I'm blaming them because I would have played with Jonah Heim again, and I would have won a home run derby. And now I can't do that, and they have sabotaged us. So are you in agreement with me, sir, that we could just blame the Xbox store and Microsoft and Bill Gates?
Yeah, I mean, we got to throw some blame on Sony there too, because they are the ones who make the game in San Diego
Yep.
studios. I mean, they all deserve blame. They're preying on Jonah Heim's downfall. They knew that you gave him the confidence to truly break out into the hitter he really could be. And
Yep.
I mean, Jonah Heim. There's really been like a weird thing with catchers recently, where they've been like they're so streaky. I mean, Adley Rutschman has been god awful this year in the second half of last year, and dude was on top of the world. And I mean, obviously he's not on the Rangers, but like not that Jonah Heim is like god awful, but the dude does not even play the position anymore. I don't know why, but it's always Kyle Higashioka, who's great defensively. I get it. I mean, I watched him a lot when he was on the Yankees too, Big Hig. But the dude's got one home run this year and he's hitting 230. Like I'd much rather see Jonah Heim getting more swings in there. I know he's injury prone to not Higashioka, but Jonah Heim. He's
Yep.
injury prone as well, uh, which is not great. Yeah, no, there's it's a weird thing with catchers, and we can definitely blame the Xbox Store, Game Pass, Sony, um, and anyone who you really want to throw blame on. They're preying on Jonah Heim's downfall because they know the power that he wields and what could happen if it's truly unleashed.
Damn straight, dude. So now that we've got past the Rangers, I'm going to talk about a former AL West player in Shohei Ohtani. We mentioned it a little bit earlier that he made his return to the mound a couple days, either yesterday, right, or a couple
Yesterday,
days ago.
yeah.
Yesterday, yeah. What did you think about that, sir? How do you think he did?
I mean, he only pitched an inning. Let me pull up his official stats right here, real quick. I know he only pitched an inning though. He gave up two hits, I believe. I don't know if he gave up a run. I'm checking that right now. My iPad is being slow. Yesterday, oh my God, it just clicked on the Mets game instead. Where's the fucking Dodgers? Also, I really hate the Dodgers for anyone who's interested. Yep. Dodgers won that 6-3. All right, Ohtani. Yeah, he gave up one earned run, two hits, and one inning pitched. Has a 9 ERA as of now. That wasn't blatantly obvious to you based off of the stats I just gave. He looked good. He looked like he had good stuff out there. I honestly thought, A, he was going to pitch more, and B, he was going to
Same
get
here.
totally shelled. I thought it was just going to be an absolute bomb fest for the Padres hitting against him. I just feel like that first start back, you're definitely getting your footing again. But it wasn't. But at the same time, it wasn't like statistically wasn't great, but his stuff looked good. What did you think?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I'm with you. I didn't think it was gonna be like a bomb fest. You know, like you said. That's the only thing I kind of did disagree with. I thought he was gonna look a little like obviously he's getting his feet wet again. On the mound. It's been a while since that man has pitched. You'd be a fool if you thought this man was gonna be in his first outing. Was gonna return to prime Shohei Ohtani. On the mound. But I I was not I'm not gonna hate on him for that or anything like that. Obviously the man's coming back from a serious injury, for why he couldn't even pitch. Um, so I'm just it is what it is with him. It's like I wasn't expecting much, but I wasn't expecting to be like the for the Padres to just put up whatever they felt like on him. The man is an absolute legend. The man is genuinely, and I get pissed about this because I've seen a lot of stuff. I saw fucking all CFB, their Instagram page, right? Um, Austin Simmons, I think that's his name, Austin Simmons. He's the QB for Ole Miss. Okay, he's also on their baseball team as a pitcher, and it isn't bad if I'm correct. Okay, but there was literally a fucking like a thing of them like saying like, oh, he could be Shohei Otani if he batted.
Oh
My
my
brother.
God.
It's absolute right. Like it's so annoying to see this of like, dude, Shohei Otani is genuinely our generation's Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth could pitch. Babe Ruth could hit. Babe Ruth could hit for power. Shohei Otani can hit for power. Shohei Otani can strike anyone the fuck out, and Shohei Otani can win MVP and Cy Young in the same year. A fully healthy Shohei Otani. Like there is not a better player in the game. If you have a kid and they want to play baseball and you want to show them the what they should be when they like what do you want to be, you show them Shohei Otani. That's the guy you show them, the guy who can pitch, the guy who can hit, the guy who can literally do anything, the guy who could play outfield when he wasn't pitching.
He has
um
every single tool as a player, and he's like also he's great off field too. He's not someone who's going to cause problems. Antonio Brown facing attempted murder charges. Uh, he's like you said, he's someone you'd want to point to as like be as much like this person as you possibly can.
exactly. Exactly. Like the man is quite literally, and you can't even blame him for the whole like off the field thing he had, which was his fucking guy stealing his money and gambling.
You
Like
feel
by the
bad
way, shout
for
out to
him. He was
pickups.
a victim.
Exactly, and but like the man was a victim of that. Just absolute great guy. He is what when you see people online who talk about like Shador Sanders, you see a lot of celebrities online and stuff like that, and they'll be like, "God's with you, Shador Sanders," and stuff like that. Oh, and I'm just like, just being like, "Oh, he's Dion's son. I'm gonna get brownie points for like being nice to another celebrity's child, while like
Yeah.
being absolutely shitty to the guy at fucking Walgreens, Um, but Shohei Otani is truly the guy, like such a nice guy. The only bad thing you could say about Shohei Otani is that he drives a Tesla, and that's it.
Yeah, and I mean that's some gay shit, but like at the same time, you know, he kind of makes up for it in every other way of his life, so we can look past it. And yeah, like you said, he is our generation's Babe Ruth. Not only is he's not just a decent pitcher, he's an absolute stud when he pitches, just like Babe Ruth was. But I guess that also brings up the question too, because Babe Ruth only pitched the first half of his career, which was long enough, and it's still longer than Shohei's been in the league. But do you think there will come a time when Shohei stops pitching to focus on offense only, or do you think he'll try to? I mean, because we saw he was just out for. I mean, not that he was out hitting wise, but he was definitely affected with the pitch the UCL injury. He was out very long term from the mound. Do you think there will be a time when the Dodgers say, you know what, we love you as a pitcher, but we've always got enough. We've always got money to sign more. Do what you can with the bat, and doing what he can is doing the most in the National League.
Yeah. Um, I think if there's another serious injury for him, that's going to like. I think that's when they do it. I think if as long as he stays healthy. Let me rephrase this actually. If he suffers a major injury, I think they definitely like call it quits on him pitching. Or if he has a bunch of like little injury, if like from him pitching, he'll have like he sustains like 3 or 4 injuries, in like 3 to 5 injuries, like minor injuries in like a 2 year span, which make him miss like a combined like 3 to 4 months or something like that, of like playing time. I think they then call it then for his sake, being like, look, we, like as you said, like, look, we love you. We don't want this to happen. We don't want bad things to happen. We don't want you to have like irreversible damage to your arm or anything like that
Yeah,
to where you can't even hit or anything like that. So I think barring injury or injuries, he can pitch. I think he's going to still be a pitcher for the Dodgers, which, it's going to suck for you being in the same division as the man. So,
yeah, but I mean, to be honest, and like Yeah, I do think it's kind of the same thing where it's like he'll be able to pitch until a point it affects his offense, until they say, you know what, we'd rather have you on one side of the ball than on no sides of the ball. And if you're getting injured to the point where you can't do either, we'd rather just have you focus on the one that isn't causing injuries. But yeah, no, he is in my division. It's a pain in the ass. He went from being in my division with one team to just moving to the other division with my team. So I've had nothing but pain from this man since the moment he entered the league. But at the same time, I mean he transcends baseball hate. He transcends team hate. He is just one of those guys who is fun to watch, and I feel privileged to watch. And I think the day that he gets told he can't pitch anymore is going to be a sad day, not just for Dodgers fans, but for baseball as a whole, because he's truly been an anomaly, and it took us damn near 90 to 100 years to get another, and not really, it's more like 80 years to 100 years. But I mean, Babe Ruth was playing 100 years ago today. It took us 100 years to get another one of him, and who
Exactly.
knows
Yeah.
how long it'll be before we get another. I mean, baseball just gets harder and harder as time goes on. And the fact that this dude has so much natural talent and hard work that he's able to do both at such a high level, like it just takes such a special combination of, like I said, hard work, talent, and just love for the game. Because you got to love the game to be able to put in at probably double the amount of effort that everybody else is putting in.
Oh yeah. So anyway, I got another question for you, sir.
Yo,
So trade deadline is coming up here next month, something like that. I think it's mid July or whatever. No, it's at the end of July. My bad. Um, July 30th, I believe. It's the final day of July, whether it's the 31st or the 30th. I forget how many days July is, but it's at the end of July. Paul Skeens, sir. I'm just gonna say this before I ask the question, and it's kind of you're gonna get where I'm coming from. It's not going to be a question, but uh, as we know, and as we've known from this, I'm an LSU fan. I love the man Paul Skeens. We don't get the national championship without him. That man was literally, besides Ty Floyd, was the only good pitcher on that team. Um, for the love of God, I had not seen that man smile until like last night, since the national championship game till last night when him and Livy were at the College World Series watching LSU. I had not seen that man crack a smile since the Pirates drafted him and since he came up. For the love of all that's holy, Pittsburgh, trade this man. He is in hell right now. This man is in purgatory. Please, for his own sanity, get this man out of that dumpster bag city that is known as Pittsburgh, okay? Tree, I'm sorry if you're watching this. Love you, Tree, okay? But like, the city is ass, okay? Like, well, let's be real. Nobody likes Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, but like, dear God, you have a lovely stadium over there. Don't get me wrong. PNC Park is
oh, beautiful.
lovely, but dear Lord, Pittsburgh, you don't care in the slightest. You guys spent literally the least amount of money out of any team for free agency. You could have done a whole lot more and chose to do literally nothing.
Their
And
owner should
knowing
be
that you
forced to
got
sell the team. Definitely, he doesn't want to run a baseball
100%,
team.
yep, yep, and you guys are just wasting Paul Skeens. It's insane to say Paul Skeens he's already in his prime when he's in his first full season, and you're
Yeah,
wasting it.
yeah, and I'm with you. I think they should trade him. I mean, he's never going to be more valuable than he is now. He's got years and years of team control left, which is going to be huge. He hasn't gotten his major injury yet, and not a hater here or anything, but he does have a big injury coming his way. At the velocity he throws, for as long as he's been doing it, he played full college career. The man is gonna have a Tommy John surgery, and it's gonna be sooner rather than later. I hate to say it, but it's just the reality of the game in its current existence. You pitch with that much velocity, it's gonna happen, and his value is going to go down, and he's gonna miss a year to a year and a half at best. So I mean, the smartest thing to do would be to trade his ass immediately, give him to the Yankees, give him to the Dodgers, give him to anybody who's willing to pay with prospects, but because one guy isn't going to fix your franchise. I know they've got Jared Jones, they've got a couple other guys coming up. Of course, they've got O'Neal Cruz on offense and uh Brendan, whatever the fuck, Brendan. fucking Brian Reynolds, that's his name.
Brian
Fuck,
Reynolds, yeah.
yeah, it's just not enough though. Um, but at the same time, I don't think they will trade him because I think the owner knows, and he's clearly only interested in driving a profit without having to spend any money. He knows he's a guy who's not going to be expensive right now. He's not going to have to, and he's going to attract people to the ballpark. Every 5 days when Paul Skeens pitches, he knows he's going to get a fat chunk of revenue without having to dish out hundreds of millions of dollars in a contract. I mean, I just if it were literally any other team going through a rebuild, if this was the Rays and they tend to do this, they would trade their star pitcher, get a load of prospects, and just be ready for the playoffs in a few years. But the Pirates are going to hold on to him. They're going to milk him for everything he's like his value's worth. He's going to get injured. His trade value is going to go down. He may come back just as good as he was. I mean, I'd like to be optimistic and say, yeah, he'll be just as good. But the reality is, I mean, after your first big injury, it's no guarantee that you won't get the same injury again. I mean, we've seen guys like Jacob deGrom get hit
Yep.
twice with the same Tommy John. So you know, and he's another guy who just throws hard as a starter and just throws harder as the game goes on, just like Skeens.
Yep.
So I don't think they end up trading him, even though it's the right thing to do on every front for the team and for him. And I think it's just depression from here on out, and nothing's going to change for Pirates fans unless the owner's forced to sell the team. Also, I'd like to get your thought on this. I feel like owners, if they don't make the playoffs for like 5 or 6 years in a row, or they don't have a winning record for like 4 or 5 years in a row, they should like be forced to sell the team. Like, because you're clearly not trying.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm in 1,000% agreement with you on that, dude. Yeah. I mean, I look at certain teams and it's just like, dude, what are you even doing? It's like, I mean, hey, we'll get into and we'll get into because we're going to be doing all sports here on the Triple T show, Turf Tar Timber. By the way, we are sponsored by Pickums, everybody, so check
Pick
Pickums
Hub,
out.
better picks, better payouts. Check them for the picks this weekend for UFC ABC 8 in Baku,
Hey,
Azerbaijan. Roundtree versus
eggs.
Hill. But go ahead.
But yeah, it's just. Sorry, what was I even saying? I kind of just lost track right there,
Uh,
sir.
oh,
Sorry.
sorry, you were talking about you don't even know what some owners are doing.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just you look at teams out there, and I was going to say, yeah, we're going to get into the NFL later and stuff like that. But you look at like a Cincinnati Bengals out there, like the Bengals owner is just the most cheap, disgusting bastard of all time. There's nothing worse in this world, in my opinion, than being a cheap billionaire.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of bad things you can be out there, but being a cheap billionaire has got to be up there with arguably the worst thing you can be. Like, how can you be a poor billionaire, dude? Like what are you like? Do you know how many people would love to be in your position and have the money you have to like buy a sports team and like buy their favorite team and like make them like the greatest team of all time? It just absolutely baffles me like how people just like do not care about the sport in this slightest. They're just in it for money, just like the Pirates owner, clearly just in it for making money, and no, I am 100% with you on that. If you have like 5 consecutive losing seasons, like the Rock, if you're like in a Rockies position right now as well. And shout out to Brandon Perna because Brandon Perna, we love the GPS show, and we love
Oh
uh, we
yeah.
love uh, per, we love Perna show as well. That's good sports. Man makes him some dope merch. He's made a sell the team Rockies shirt, by the way. So go check that out if you want to. It just sucks because you have people out there who are true fans of the sport, and like you and me, we were Rangers fans. After anybody who was a Rangers fan knows, after the two World Series years in 2010 and 2011, and Josh Hamilton just quitting in the wild card round against, I think that was the Orioles back then in 2012. Yeah, I think it was the Orioles. Yeah,
It was either the Orioles or the A's, one of the two.
yeah, it was the Orioles. He just quit in that series, and then we ended up doing absolutely nothing and being horrific. Just nobody would show up to the games. Nobody wanted to do like what. By the way, it was an outdoor stadium at that time, so nobody on earth is going to go to an outdoor game in summer. I mean, you and me went to an XFL game a couple summers ago
It
and
was
sat
last
where
year,
like right.
yeah.
Yeah, it was last year. Yeah, right behind where home plate used to be. Because in case anybody wonders where the Arlington Renegade play, they just play where the Rangers used to play. And we sat literally right behind home plate. And the game starting, they play in summer. The game was like started at like noon or whatever, something like that. We were fucking burnt up after that, man. It took like literally months for me to heal from that, man. I kid you not.
And he's black.
Exactly. Exactly. So just imagine nobody wanted to do that to go to Rangers games when they sucked. You're not going to get people to go to Rockies games when they suck. And the Rockies have an absolute gem of a stadium. I've been there, man. And PNC Park is beautiful, okay? I mean,
And these
if
are
you're
sports
not getting.
towns too. These are
Yep.
fans who love sports. You can look up any video of these teams making the playoffs, just like the videos that made everyone sad last year of the A's in their playoff runs from 10 years ago or so, where their fans were just going absolutely ballistic. And it's just like the type of fandom you love to see in baseball. And really any sport where it's like it's enviable, like you want to be a part of that crowd whether you're a fan or not. Um, it's like a rave, but for not dumb people. Um,
Amen.
fucking yeah, no, it's just so sad what those fans have to deal with, especially like the A's fans losing their team completely. And I don't think the Rockies are necessarily in danger of that, but yeah, they shouldn't have to put up with ownership like that. It's truly a travesty. I'd hate to be stuck with that.
It's yeah, I know, right? I mean, and I'm kind of switching this a little bit to foot. We're gonna get back to baseball, but like being a Panthers fan, and by the way, I am a
I was just
Panthers
thinking
fan.
about that.
Yeah, like I was when I just blanked on his name.
David Tepper.
David Tepper. Yeah, I was thinking of David Gettleman, but I remember he was the GM, and I absolutely despise that man as well. But before Tepper, I forget the man's name. He sold the team. Jerry
Jer-
Richardson, I think.
yeah, Jerry. I think there's a statue of him outside the stadium.
Man was not a bad owner, but just if you ask me, kind of senile a little bit. Um, and shouldn't like I think he was better back like in the old and like he had his better days, but towards the end there, the man was just like it was an old man. I think he died recently as well. Like rest in peace, my man. No hatred to you or
He
anything, but
brought
like
football to Carolina. Yeah, I can't hate too much.
exact. Yep. But Tepper is a billionaire hedge fund manager and has gobbles of money. I don't think he's gone about it. And I think there's also owners who can be like Tepper, who can have all the money but just meddle too much. And owners meddling is always it is just a recipe for disaster, because they think because they, especially someone like Tepper, who and like he made his money off hedge funds, and people like that are gonna think, well, I made all this, I know everything, you know what I mean? So he thought since he knew hedge funds and how to manage that stuff, he thought he could do the same thing like that for an NFL team. And you just have to be an absolute bumbling fucking moron to think that, oh, I can manage an NFL team or I can manage a sports team like a hedge fund. Like that's brain damage at its finest right there. Um, just absolute terrible stuff like that. I'm glad he seemed to have got out of the way of since the whole throwing the drinks on Jags fans about
He
2 years
humbled
ago.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. And I think that fine humbled him as well. was the main thing that humbled him. Um, but yeah, I'm totally with you. There's because you got to get bad owners out of sports, because they just ruin it for fan bases. And it really makes me mad because it's like a lot of these, I shouldn't say, well, yeah, there's owners out there who just don't even realize that like there's people who be like like I know the billionaire owners only interact with the other top 1% of the world, 0.1% of the world, their own kind, and people who buy suites and everything, and they'll be talking to them, season ticket holders, and stuff like that. They're not talking to the average fan. Excuse me. But yeah, like they're not talking to the average fan like you or me or anybody watching this or anybody watching real YouTube stuff or anything like that. They're not watching. They're not talking to those people who absolutely love their team to death. So it's like they're just in it for the money. They really don't be caring.
Yeah, no, clearly, like the closest they can get interaction wise is like a Twitter or something like that, where I mean they could tweet something out, and if they do look at the replies, and some of them are petty enough to like go through replies and stuff. I mean, fucking. I mean, the richest man in the world has replies to people on Twitter, so some of them just at the very least be looking, even if they're advised not to reply. But they're really never gonna get like, and I think we see this in not to even drag it further away from baseball and football now, but in the MMA sphere, where it's like the top brass of the MMA and the matchmakers. Not that the matchmakers are billionaires in any way, and but like obviously the fan base, the hardcores, all of the YouTubers, whether it's Guru, Lucas Tracy, Bedtime MMA, Weasel, all those guys, they are like the heart of the sport and they have real influence on it. Meanwhile, though, they can be totally ignored by the Hunter Campbells and Dana Whites of the world, who it's like no matter what matchup the fans want to see, and they could force it. I truly believe they could. They could force Islam to fight Ilya. They could they could force
Yep,
John to fight or strip right at this very second.
that could have
Tana,
happened. That could have happened a year ago. Yeah.
yeah, that could have happened 800 days ago.
Yep.
Fucking yeah, no, it's truly pathetic because it's like the sports would be much better if the hardcore fans were really in control. And of course, that's being a bit naive. I'm sure there's some ways in which the hardcore fan just doesn't quite understand, but also the hardcore fan doesn't have a profit motive, and these sports are going to be profitable no matter what. And I mean, like I was mentioning with like the MMA UFC thing, it's like these matchups would be the largest fights in history. Like they would generate
Yep.
millions and millions of pay-per-view buys. They would be much better than a Bilal JDM fucking title fight. No hate to Bilal or JDM, that
I'm
was a
sorry.
fun
Who?
fight.
Who? I'm sorry. Who? I heard JDM. Who? Who's the other guy? Who? Who's this guy?
Torres Finney.
Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, no,
Ugh.
but no, it's like I guess yeah, my point is it's like yeah, maybe the hardcore fans don't understand everything that goes into it and they don't. But at a certain point, uh it's not like the sport would be unprofitable if you did what the hardcore fans wanted. If you left the A's in Oakland, if you fucking if you made Islam versus Ilya, if the fucking owner got out of the way and the Panther, which he has, but if he just got out of the way and stopped making these blatantly stupid fucking moves, um, yeah, I guess to drive the topic back, we should probably circle back around to baseball with what topics we have left as we approach the 2 hour mark.
Yep, we'll wrap it up here. By the way, I'm gonna head out for a second. Gotta put this charger up real quick, but I will
You've
be
got,
back in about 4 seconds.
I'll entertain in the meantime. Have you ever considered joining a cult? I was thinking of starting one. If you're in chat and you'd like to join a cult, please, please email me. My email is nicholaslevine11@gmail.com. If you would like to join this said cult, just be ready to submit anything and everything, all of your life force to me. And I mean, all I really need is a few members. Like, and then we're rocking. I'm gonna need your whole net worth. I'm gonna need everything you have in your whole family too. We're really gonna go all out with this. All I need is a few dedicated members. So if you think that's you, just reach out to. Oh, he's back. Hey.
Man, I was listening to it, man. I was just listening to
Yeah, we were
to
listening
you
to
recruiting
talk
for your
sports.
cold.
We were talking
I
sports
was
without
listening.
you.
I had the headphones in, dude. Like I put my headphones back in, dude, so
We
I
were
could hear
talking
this whole
sports.
cold thing.
We were
I could
talking
hear the.
sports.
I could hear.
We
You
were
gave your
talking
email out, man. You
sports.
gave your email out, dude. This was straight up like
Man, that's crazy.
this
You're
you
gonna be the
even
first one in the dungeon when I get those followers. But yeah, we were talking sports. I don't know what you were thinking about. You must have been
uh-huh.
tuning into another TV in the
Uh-huh.
house or something
Uh-huh. TV in the house? I can tell you the
where they were
TV is
giving
not
out
even
my
on.
email.
Yeah.
But yeah, shoot me those applications. But yeah, what were those last couple MLB topics? Because I mean, we got about 15, 18 minutes till we hit that 2 hour mark, which I think is what we're shooting
Yep.
for.
By the way, Chad, where else are you gonna see a show like this? Where just stop to get a charger out of the room and then have a cold conversation following that. You only get that on Triple T on Turf Tar and Timber, man. Um. Also, yeah. So two things before we close out. I wanted to get your opinions on this. So the Orioles have a young roster. We both know this, and a lot of people thought they were supposed to be good this year. They made some moves. They got young talent, and it's not going well for them in the slightest. The Orioles fucking suck, and they are back to being the joke and the butt of the AL East. Do they? Where the hell do the Orioles even go from here? I mean, the management seems to like never actually care. They just seem to. Some years they'll get young talent, never do anything with it. Now they got young talent, and the young talent's not looking good. What do you think they're gonna do from here?
Yeah, it's kind of tough to say. I actually I saw a little overview today. I believe it was iTalk Studios, shout out who posted that. Um, yeah, it comes down to their GM who obviously acquired the boatload of young talent they had, and I would like to emphasize that it was truly an unprecedented boatload that you see like once every
Yeah.
generation of young prospects you see coming in. I know at one point they had like 7 of the top 30 prospects, which is just absolutely nuts. They had plans for those guys to replace the guys who are already up. Um, it's really tough to say where they go from here because if you think, I mean, I think too that the timing of their ownership change last year hurt them because the GM did not know what the money situation was going to be, but it was also crucial that something did get done. They signed Corbin Burns, of course, but obviously he's gone now. Uh,
Yep.
and the only free agent they were able to pick up last year was Craig Kimbrell, and the dude's been washed now for a couple of years, and they only had him because Batista was injured. But it's real tough to say. I mean, there's always the chance these prospects turn it around and develop. I mean, when they are on, they're on. Gunnar Henderson not having a great year. Adley Rutschman looking awful. As much as it hurts to say, because he was just truly a privilege to watch behind the plate and at the plate. Um, Hurston Kierstad not totally turning out to who they needed him to be. Kobe Mayo for the same. Jackson Holiday too. Big disappointment.
Yep.
And of course, these guys are still really young. They're early in their careers, but they've proved already that they could make it there. And I mean, unless they really get some veteran leadership in there, I think they do need to go heavy in free agency. I think it would be stupid of them to try to be buyers at the deadline and salvage the season unless they were getting
Yeah.
guys who were on who had multiple years of team control. It would just be kind of pointless. They need people who are going to be in that locker room, people who have been there, done that. Because let's be honest, when they got swept by the Rangers in the playoffs a couple of years ago, people they weren't even that worried about it because they were like, yeah, it's these guys' first time in the playoffs,
Yep.
but they'll be back. This is a team that was, in the words of iTalk Studios, they were supposedly built for the next decade. They were not built for a couple
Exactly.
years
Yeah.
of success. They were built with young talent raised in the organization. Uh, and let's not forget too, they've made some dumb trades instead of going out there and acquiring pitching talent like a Garrett Crochet, who their division rival Red Sox ended up getting. And yes, they did have to give up Kyle Teal, but they went out there and got Trevor Rogers, who's had one good year. It was 2021, and I guess they were just hoping they'd be able to salvage something, just a pitcher with some upside, but it did not work out. He was uh, he was optioned to AAA within a month of that trade happening.
Yep.
It's
I
the same thing as
remember that.
yeah, as the Red Sox optioning Kyle Harrison immediately, like the other day. It's like, what's the point? So I'll let you tackle in on that, but I just had some strong opinions there.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you on that. It's just like you look at the getting of young talent. you liked that idea, like it made sense, and yeah, as you said, yeah, when they made the playoffs, when they ended up getting swept by the Rangers, you like we I remember we were watching those series, man. We were like, okay, I mean, it was a shock to us that we even swept the Orioles like that, but it was like the Orioles are going to be back next year, and the Orioles are going to be even more dangerous, like they're going to have some playoff experience now. Jackson Holiday is going to be coming up anytime soon as well. They have other young players that are going to be coming up. The Orioles are a team that you need to watch out for, and every other team, especially in the AL East, was going to have to watch out for them as well. And we know the Rays are the teams that are going to, like they're going to have some players. They might make the playoffs and then they'll trade them. We all know what the Rays do, and the Rays are a very predictable
And
organization.
they do it well.
But it was
They do it well.
exactly, yeah, they do. But it was like the Yankees, the Red Sox, they were the ones that really you felt like teams out there who are their fan bases expect championships. Like you were going to be like, you have to compete now with the Orioles. And they just not the Red Sox clearly haven't, but like the Yankees have officially blown past the Orioles. The Red Sox have now because the Orioles are now being the bottom feeders of the AL East right now. But I mean, the Red Sox are not
The
good.
Blue Jays
And then
have
the
blown
Rays.
past them too this year, and
I forgot
nobody
about the
expected
Blue
that.
Jays. Yep.
Fucking
Yep.
nobody.
The Blue Jays are a forgettable team, man. Fuck the Blue Jays. We'll never forgive them for what they did to the Rangers 2 years in a row. Jose Bautista, you can rot in hell, man. You are not ever allowed in my city. That is just
It's on
I don't make
site.
the rules. Yeah, it is on site. I don't even make the rules, man. I'm not even telling you I'm gonna do something to you, man. I'm just saying you are not safe in DFW. Okay.
You never know where Root Net Odor might be, and we might have him on
Exactly.
call.
Exactly. Exactly. So last topic here before we call it a night, guys. Wanted to get your opinion on the Juan Soto contract. Do you think it was really worth it? All that money that he signed for. Is that a good contract in your opinion?
Yeah, I 10 times out of 10 will defend this contract. I'm not a Mets fan by any means. I'd root for the Phillies in that division. Um, so I think it's great for two reasons. One, I think Juan Soto is probably a top 5 player in baseball, all things considered. I know he had a cold start to this year, but he's really picked it up. He's had like 5 home runs in the last 11 games. Dude is an on base percentage monster.
Oh
He's
yeah.
he and it's something that won't age and might just get better, like it has with Rafael Devers. Is he's going to be able to. I mean, he's always great with walks. Like the dude is just going to get better and better as his career goes on. With that, because the more baseballs you see, the better you get with that. And the second reason, I think the biggest reason too, it's like the it's only going to cost more going up. Like I remember when we were kids, like a massive contract was $200 million for like
Yep.
a starting pitcher, and now that is like, I mean, it's not nothing, but I mean, clearly it is not. You're in the 400 million if you're getting like an A1 ace in baseball. So, and we're not even talking pitchers right now, but for a hitter as young as he is, he's like 26 years old, and for as long as it is, I think by the time that contract is over, players of his caliber who are the same age will be getting damn near $1 billion contracts, if not more than that. So I think in time it'll age very well. It's nothing. There's no outs in it like the John. I don't believe there's outs in it like the Giancarlo Stanton one where he could get out of it and then demand even more money because like this dude is now set for life. He's set to be a Met forever. If it does somehow flop in their faces, it's not like football, basketball where there's going to be a salary cap problem they have to deal with. It's like no, they just pay the dude and he just doesn't play well. But I mean, let's be honest, he's gonna play well. It's Juan Soto. He's good on defense. He's amazing at the
And
plate.
see, that's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir, but
Go for it.
Juan Soto is that's the only thing I have a little bit of a problem with his contract. I'm not worried about the bat. I wasn't worried about his bat when, Mets fans were booing him, when he started the year off slow, I mean, it's gonna happen, I mean, this is baseball. It's the most streaky sport of all sports, Um, so I'm not worried about his bat, but he is a subpar fielder if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about this, but he is a subpar fielder if I'm correct, and I don't think he's slow. Uh, and I just don't think he's going to be in right field for that long. And if I'm going to be honest, if I'm paying someone that kind of money, I would like for them to at least just because I genuinely feel like not three, but like 4 or 5 years down the line, the man's just going to be a bona fide DH, And not saying he won't be probably, he'll probably still be the best DH. He'll probably be the best DH in the league at that point, but I would love to get more, especially for the war, for you to do something on defense, for you to be saving me some runs. Maybe you throw some guys out on the base paths, you get a guy who's trying to grab an extra base and you cut him off, trying to him trying to get to third, and you cut him off, man. You get him and you get that out. Um, I think it is a little high. We knew Juan Soto had made it clear. Not even last year, but from his time in Washington, even that he was trying to be the highest paid player. He turned down multiple contract offers to be the highest paid player that he is. I know he doesn't have like a Shohei deal, but like he knew what he was doing. He knew he wanted to be one of the highest paid players in the league. It's just I'm not sure how well this is going to age because they're going to be needing, in my opinion, they're going to be needing a right fielder in the next
Well,
four or
if you don't
five
mind,
years.
I'm going to
Okay,
step in
yeah, go
here
ahead.
because I was doing some research while you were talking. He was actually been nominated for a Gold Glove twice in his career, including once last year. And it does say he
Okay.
has and I don't know what the exact source on this is, uh, because I'm on Gemini right now, but he has a top 15 arm for right fielders in baseball right now. So he has a strong arm. Don't know how accurate it is, but he is a multi-time Gold Glove finalist, which I
Okay.
don't think is nothing. And it has been
No, yeah,
both.
that's not nothing at all.
It says just generally that his defensive performance hasn't been great, but it's shown flashes of improvement, being 2022 and 2024. So I don't think he's like Vlad Guerrero Sr. out there, where it's like he is an actual liability on defense. Um, I think I think it's where you have like someone who's just not the best out there. Kind of, I mean, nah, Aaron Judge wasn't even bad in center field, but it's not someone who's going to have a high DRS for you because he does have a negative defensive run saved stat for his career, but it's not to the point where you're generally worried. And I mean, now that the NL does have a DH and they have for a few years, I don't worry at all about it. I think uh,
Uh-huh.
I think that's going to be big for them going forward. And I would agree with you that the contract might not age as well if the NL didn't have a DH. But the fact is, he can be on the field no matter what, even if he doesn't generally improve from here. But I mean, he's not atrocious. He's not someone who's going to cost you games.
See, I just pulled this up. So in 2022, well, he was a finalist for a Gold Glove in right field. But it says this right here. During his 2022 campaign, Sutter was an utter disappointment in the field. He ranked 242nd among the 243 major league defenders in Fangraphic's defensive metric at minus 20.8.
Okay, so we're getting some conflicting sources here because how the fuck was he? See, and I trust Fangraphs, I do, but it's like, how was he a finalist for a Gold Glove if that was the case? Like, that's just absolutely wild to
Right?
me. I and I know there's also like the crowd too will say because obviously we've seen Derek Jeter make some of the greatest plays ever imaginable. Like nobody made plays like him at shortstop. Uh, but then there's fans who will say according to the sabermetrics, he wasn't actually a good fielder, and it's like, well, dude, did you look with your fucking eyeballs? He was a great fielder.
Exactly.
So I and
Exactly.
so I don't really know where that falls. I think with just I mean going up and up and up. By the time he's 40, and there's a 26-year-old phenom outfielder, they're going to be getting over $1 billion. So I think it'll be fine.
I agree. Yeah, that's probably going to be the case there. And yeah, with no salary cap for the Mets as well. Lucky for them playing in New York as well, where they're going to have all the money in the world as well. They have one of the richest owner who literally just openly does not care about spending money as well. So it's a plus for them as well. I just do the only thing for me is I seriously if you're spending that kind of money, and I'm not denying anything that you just said. I totally agree with you. Yeah, by the time he's 40, there's going to be some stud coming up in the league, in outfield that you could put in right field, But I just really would like for him to be better in the field, or just to not be, because I truly feel like in 4 years the man's going to be a bona fide DH. And it's just like you're paying him all that money to DH. We know the Dodgers did not pay all that money to Shohei just for him to DH.
True.
They paid all of that money for a a Cy Young caliber pitcher, an MVP batter. I mean, just literally the greatest player in the world. I can genuinely make an argument for Shohei Ohtani being the best athlete in the world, if you ask me, in
Yeah.
any sport, not just baseball. I mean, the
He
man is
he does two of the
literally
hardest things in sports. Yeah.
exactly. You tell me anybody who can throw 100 miles an hour. Obviously, not. I don't know if he touched 100 when he came back, but pre-injury, Shohei was touching 100 miles an hour, frequently throwing pitches, and was hitting balls 110 miles an hour into the fucking bleachers.
And
So
it's
uh,
well known too that the hardest thing to do in all of sports is to hit a baseball. Oh fuck, my camera.
oh yeah,
Bro, that's funny as fuck. I know you might have heard that in the background. My camera fell over and then the picture behind me fell off the wall. Uh,
I did not. I heard a little bit of something, but I did not hear all that.
yeah, it's whatever. It's a sign we should be hopping off soon. But yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, the hardest thing to do in sports, by any metric, and if you've played multiple sports, you know this, is to hit a baseball coming at you very fast. Like, there's there's nothing like it. I sucked at it. That's why I was a PO. I hated hitting. It was so hard. It's the hardest thing to do.
I agree. Loved hitting, man, but I'm telling you this much: seeing a slider, man, and deter like that was genuinely the hardest thing in the world, man. I don't think like I we quit baseball in the same age. I think it was like 16 or 17. It was one of the two where we
17,
quit.
I
Where we
think.
quit.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm telling you, man. I had trouble hitting breaking balls. I could see curveballs a whole lot better than other pitches. I could
They're
see
slower. Yeah.
changeups, but yeah, but oh my good god, man! You threw me a slider. I was sitting there looking back at the pitcher like, what the fuck did you just throw, man? You're not supposed to be throwing that shit to me. Like what? Excuse me, like no, like that shit is genuinely some of the hardest things that you can ever do. Throwing a slider, okay, I mean it is hard as well. For
The
like it was one of
yeah. I
like
was just about to mention the ability to control the to control a breaking ball or a an off speed pitch and put it where you want it to, like at the speed that it needs to be. It especially with like the break of the wrist or for like an off speed pitch going the opposite way with your wrist. It's a very unnatural motion. It's what causes so many injuries. It's one of the things. So yeah, I mean both ends of the plate. Of course, hitting's harder, but like they are both extremely hard to do, and that's why you only see players focusing on one. They're usually their whole career, and you get people like Travis Hunter saying like his like playing offense and defense is more impressive. It's like, dude, it's basic athleticism both ways though. It's like you gotta be fast, you gotta have quick reaction, you gotta have jumping
yep.
ability. Like the skills that apply to hitting and the skills that apply to pitching might as well be two completely different sports. It's not like
Oh,
football where it's like a
yeah.
corner and a wide receiver are basically the same thing, just
Yeah,
mirroring
you're
each
just
other.
well, quite literally the only difference in corner and wide receiver is you're just backpedaling. Like that's literally the only difference. With one of them you're backpedaling, the other one you're not backpedaling. I mean,
And that's why we see players who play offense in college, like Malcolm Jenkins, go on to become superstar NFL defenders for their entire careers and bona fide possible Hall of Famers. I'd love to say as an
yeah.
Eagles fan, but I guess we'll go ahead and wrap the show up there. Anything else you wanted to say?
I think we're good with that, sir. This is Triple T and the Turf Tar Timber Show. I'm Ian. That's my man Nick over there, and we are signing off. We will see you next time, guys.
And don't forget, Pick Hub. Better payouts, better picks. Pick
Yes,
Hub.
sir.
All
Let's
right.
go
It was
pick
a
up.
pleasure. We'll catch
Yes,
y'all later.
sir.
Bye.